Here we are on the final stages of the Crosscut Sled. Just have to dial it into square. I've got it squared up. I used a framing square. Found out that when I did the 5-cut method that we were slightly out of square. We've adjusted it as best we can by use of an eyesight and a tape measure. Now we're going to dial it in with some mechanics shims. We're about 51 thousandths of an inch out of square. So we'll make that adjustment here in a minute. Once we make that adjustment and we're completely squared in, then we'll put in this T-slot that I've made the dado joint in for the clamping device, and then the sled is going to be done. Okay, we can't adjust this anymore with the tape measure or by eyesight. We're going to have to use these little mechanic shims. This is the thickest blade they have. It's about 25 thousandths of an inch. So I'm going to have to do this process twice to get the 50 thousandths of an inch. So what I have is a board with a point on it, and I'm going to put it right against this fence. And we'll clamp it down into place. And what we did is we made a series of 5 cuts on a board. And each cut will exaggerate how far you're out of square. So if you're a teeny bit out of square on the first cut, the second cut will double it, third cut triple it, the fourth cut quadruple it, and then you make a 5th cut, and then you measure each end. You measure the fat end, or the top end versus the bottom end, and then do some calculations, and that'll tell you how much you got to move your fence here. So we've got this in place. What we're going to do is unscrew this this fence here. We will place this blade in between the two, and then move it back to that 25 thousandths, and then we'll move this point again and do it one more time to give us the 51 thousandths of an inch. And then we'll try our 5-cut method and see how close we got to square. Alright, let's see how we did. We're using a pair of micrometers here. Okay, we are at 1.443. And at the bottom, we're at 1.4. So we are about within 2 1,000ths of an inch. The thickness of this piece of paper is 3 1,000ths of an inch. So we are accurate within square less than the thickness of this piece of paper, which I don't think I can fine-tune it any more than that. Okay, so what we have here is a miter saw. It's about a $300 saw. And so why make a miter sled for the table saw? Well, this is limited to about, you can cut about a 6-inch wide crosscut on a board, versus the crosscut sled that I just made can probably cut up to 18 inches on a crosscut. So what I'm going to do is, being I'm limited to about a 6-inch cut, I'm going to have to cut this board down. Then I'll do that 5-cut method, and then we'll check the accuracy of a $300 saw versus about a $35 leg or a miter sled that I built out of plywood, and we'll see which is more accurate. 1.124. 1.120. So this was pretty accurate. We were going against a 6-inch length versus a 16-inch length. This is only 4/1000ths of an off. So my sled on the table saw that I just built out of $35 worth of plywood is 2/1000ths more accurate than a $300 aluminum machined sled or miter saw. Okay, now we're going to install our track. I've got this very expensive glue. It is a Instaset glue. It's like a crazy glue, and it'll supposedly start to bond within 25 seconds. So I've got to get it adjusted and in place in less than 25 seconds. After that, I won't be able to move it. So. Just hold it in place for those 25 seconds with these little clamps. And there we go. Okay, we've got our T-track here in place right here. We've installed a Craig T-clamp. And now we're just going to take a piece of wood, roll it in place where we want it. Use this to clamp it right in place. Now we don't have to hold the board. We can just put both hands on the sled and operate it. Simple as that.